What's up, my fellow brother bears? I'm your host, Buddhabear,
And I'm your co-host, Black Bear.
and welcome to
The Anime Den. Today's video, we're going to be reviewing episode 10 of ReZero Season 2.
So, without further ado, let's get right into the review. So, episode 10 hits back up with Subaru and Garfield running from the Witch of Envy.
Running to the Witch of Envy because she's going to.
But they were running away. The direction
they
were running.
They were going towards.
No, they were running away.
No,
from
they were
her.
going to her.
No, they weren't.
Yes, they were because
Dude, they weren't.
they left off going to her.
No, but like the direction that they were running away from her at
they
the time.
weren't running away.
Yes, they
Oh,
were.
sorry. They were
All right,
running
we're gonna
towards-
have to.
Okay.
I'm gonna prove him wrong later,
Alright,
not
alright.
now, obviously.
Okay.
Because the entire point is just reviewing this, and he wants to.
Just continue.
Okay, so basically, they're moving in a direction, and the Witch of Envy is following. For whatever reason, God knows. And then Garfield begins to transform. A bunch of copies of Ryu's appear, and he's using his blue stone to control. He then transforms and jumps at the Witch of Envy, which she catches him in midair. He then tells the copies of Ryu's to go run at the witches, which they begin to like suicide bomb on her,
Explode.
like Datara's bombies, clay bombs like that. So they just started blowing up on her, and then she let go of him for like a split second, and he went to go punch her. Garfield gets stabbed in midair. Shadow spikes pop out of him, and just in case you didn't believe, like she was done with him, she rips him like in shreds. Just Garfield's gone.
If you guys watch our Sweet Home series, it's like the first monster in it's Tangerine.
Yeah, it was like Tangerine.
It's Tangerine's ability.
It was like it was like basically like Tangerine, but like with shredding at the end of it.
Yeah.
And so Garfield's dead. Boom, Garfield's dead. Subaru is just yelling at the witch, saying that he could never love her. You know, he already has two people in his heart, and if anything, he'd have an easier time falling in love with the other witches instead of her.
Oh, and he said Echidna.
And he said Echidna's name. And she reacted to that, which we could assume she was upset, and then she warps and takes Subaru. And instead of saying, I love you, she's starting to say, love me, over and over again, and Subaru starts to go delusional. Then he sees the ribbon that Petra gave him, and it starts to glow, and he starts to remember that Echidna did something to that, to the ribbon, and most likely she knew that this was going to happen to him, so he had a way of basically killing himself because the ribbon just became as sharp as a knife, and he stabbed himself with it. And then the Witch of Envy, Satella, which I'm still assuming is Satella, reacted and gasped. And when Subaru went to go, he put his hand up, grabbed the veil that was over him, pulled it down, and it looked. I don't want to say it was Emilia. It looked like Emilia though. Like she could have been a twin, but not an identical twin. Mm-hmm. Like more of like a fraternal. Is it fraternal?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a fraternal twin. And Subaru said something that I wasn't expecting. He goes. He sees her crying, and he says, "I'm gonna save you." Like I was expecting something completely different, but he says, "I'm gonna save you" as she's crying, and then he wakes up. Yeah, he dies, and he wakes up right next to Emilia, and this is the part where I think the story progressed. Like we're actually gonna start seeing progression now. Was when he woke up Emilia, and instead of Emilia freaking out, she saw Subaru freaking out.
Yeah, because when Subaru woke up, he was like shaking.
Yeah, he was terrified. He was scared. And when he looked at Emilia, he was saying like, "Am I really scared of that?" Like as if he was afraid of Emilia. And he's like, "There's no way," because of the Witch of Envy. And then he grabs his hand. He says Emilia softly, and then Emilia gets up. And right when we were like expecting Emilia to freak out again, she looks at Subaru. Subaru starts, what is it called? The teeth thing? Just
chattering
his teeth, and like shaking, and then she like snapped, and then she's like, what's wrong, Subaru? Like some motherly instincts over him. She was asking him what was wrong, and then Subaru starts to ugly cry.
Oh.
Very ugly crying, and then
so like not.
Then there's a little bit of like wholesome moments, stuff progressing a little bit more, and then Subaru, when he was consumed in Satella's shadow, was able to go into everyone's memories, and went into the secret area that Garfield had, and we ended up learning that the Ryuz we know now, the one that talks to us, is actually a copy of the real Ryuz, who is in a blue crystal, and she is an item, or not an item, she is an experiment created by Ekidana.
Yeah.
And she goes on to say she is that of an apostle, a tool for the apostle of greeds, and which we start to wonder, what is an apostle of greed? It's not an archbishop, but it's below, it's an apostle, I think. Yeah. And then she goes, Ryuz goes and says, and goes into further detail, saying that an apostle is someone who has ingested something of a witch.
Is it ingested? Or is it like given?
I don't know. It was,
it's either given or ingested.
Yeah, because we know Subaru ingested bodily fluids from the tea, but she also said that...
called it echidna tea.
Echidna tea. Yeah, that shit was funny. She also said that Garfield was an apostle, but we're not sure on that part. But we did know that Ryuz was saying that she you were giving a nail, a hair, or something else. But
so we know now that Subaru is an apostle
of greed. But we also are aware that he's also a holder of the sloth trait. Like, he holds the I don't remember what they called it, but I'm just gonna say trait, because that's what it really kind of was.
Oh yeah, it's the witch
principle.
It's not witch power.
Was it the principle?
No, I don't think it's principle.
Dominion?
No.
Well, I'm gonna say trait.
It's witch something. Yeah.
And he has the sloth version of it. He has sloth is sleeping in him, and I think that's what allows him to like keep his sanity. And now we're finding out that he's also an apostle of greed, which I'm just saying, a theory. Could our boy Subaru end up becoming an apostle of all 7 witches? He only has 2. It's possible.
Yes, he is. Next is pride.
I'm gonna have to edit that. Why would you do that to me?
Because next is pride.
No, not at all. I would assume Pride to be the last one.
He is Pride.
Typhoon would be so last.
Typhoon.
Yeah, she's last. What was I? So he talks with Ryuz and stuff, and then he goes and I'm feeling there's like a little bit more things that I'm missing. But he's starting to head back. I think he was heading back to the mansion, if I'm not forgetting anything else. After talking with Ryuz, he said that he...
Yeah, after talking to Ryuz, he went to the little like place where all the villagers lived. And he like had like a little conversation.
Yeah, he had like a little wholesome conversation with Odo, and then
Odo.
Oto.
Yeah, Otto.
And
then he wrote, like, in the morning he wrote a letter to Amelia.
And then he went on favorite Earth Dragon of Badassitude, my favorite character.
And you still don't know its name.
No, Parturish. I know the name. I can't pronounce it.
It's like Patrashi or something.
Parturish. That's why it's just called the Earth Dragon of Awesomeness.
It's pastrami.
No, it's not. So he goes on the Earth Dragon of Awesomeness and is starting to head over to the mansion, where we see Garfield stop him, and Garfield starts to question him, and he says, "Where do you think you're going?" And then instead of Garfield being on the offensive and Subaru being on the defensive, Subaru was actually on the offensive, saying that, "I already know I smell. I already know that you don't trust me, but there's things I gotta do." And then Garfield starts getting upset. He pins Subaru to the wall and says, "You don't know anything. You don't know this pain. And what makes you think that you could do all this stuff, because I can't even trust you." And Subaru says, well, he doesn't say this specifically, but I'm going to shorten what he says.
Abbreviate, basically.
Yeah, thank you. He basically says, my entire goal is to save or help Amelia. I have no intention of hurting the village or anyone with it or the sanctuary. My entire goal is to help Amelia, and I've been through hell numerous times, and I know the pain that you're saying that I have never felt. And then he goes on to say that I've been into hell many times, only I need to go to hell. And it kind of goes off to him being at the mansion, and
it went to the black screen with the title of the episode.
Yeah, saying
I know hell.
I know hell. And then it goes off with Subaru being at the mansion, and then him telling Frederica and
no, you forgot about the part where Subaru said something, and then he
so as Garfield was pinning him down, you know, he was kind of testing Garfield, but at the moment when he was testing him, Subaru whispers something to Garfield, and Garfield backs up, which I could only assume he either mentioned something about being an apostle.
No, because Ryuz said that, like, he even told Ryuz not to tell Garfield about it.
True, but I'm just saying, you know, he told her not to say anything. He never said anything of him not saying anything.
Yeah, but I feel like that goes without saying.
I don't know.
If he tells someone not to tell someone else.
Not because, if anything, he was waiting because he probably wanted to use it for the scenario like this, if it were to happen. So I'm only saying that as a possibility, because other than that, what else would he say? You know, the only thing other than that is that. But I kind of also,
I feel the dialogue would be different.
Probably, but then
if he even mentioned being an apostle,
I don't know. He probably, other than the fact that he says, "I know you have a secret, and I know I'm going to uncover it." That being that, if he were to mention the apostle, he would already be halfway through with the secret.
Yeah.
Having him back up, you know, because he did say, "I know you have a secret."
Yeah,
at that point,
he was hiding something.
You know, it would make sense to kind of, if with Garfield holding you like that, to mention something about either the clones or the apostle or the experiment.
Didn't he say like that Garfield is hiding something after he let him go?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You know, we obviously know that Garfield's obviously hiding something with the fact that he himself is an apostle of greed. You know, how is he an apostle of greed, and he's to be an apostle of greed? First, you have to go to the witch's graveyard. So that means he's met Akidano. Why and how? Obviously, we know how is because he did the trial, but why he was there and what reason is what we are not unaware of, obviously. And that's why he says, Subaru said, I know you have a secret, which was referring to that most likely. So then that part's good, right?
Yeah.
So then we head back to him being at the mansion. He's most likely telling Frederica to take I forgot the little girl's name again. Petra. I keep forgetting her. Take Petra and Earth Dragon of Awesomeness away from the mansion, because at that moment, you know, Bow Lady isn't there, nowhere to be seen. So he's most likely telling her to leave, you know, head to the sanctuary or head somewhere. I'm gonna catch up after I talk. I talk with Beatrice, and we go to say, and Frederica goes and proves that a little further when she says, "I will be hoping on your safe trip," like. Because Subaru goes and says that I'll be catching up with you, and she says, I hope you'll be returning back to see us with Beatrice. And then we go see Subaru, walk up to Beatrice, and then Beatrice says a whole line in cryptic, basically saying, the contract between us is surprising how that it has to revolve around you. And she's smiling as if basically she knew that all of this was going to end up with Subaru, you know, coming back to Beatrice with a stronger will and with more information and knowledge. And then that's kind of where it ends. And by the way, Beatrice was smiling at the end.
Yeah, that kind of caught me off guard.
Which I'm now, like, under the impression that Beatrice is going to be on our side now.
Yeah.
With that smile, it wasn't a smile of, you know...
Of, like, taunt.
Of, like, a taunt or like a threat or, like... a malicious intent. It was that of like, I've been waiting for you, you know, or I've been waiting for this moment. You're finally ready, and let's have a chat.
Yeah.
So Black Bear did mention this was a bit of a filler episode because
I feel like it wasn't as information heavy as like all the other episodes. I mean, it still gave like plenty of information like toward like the actual story, but I just feel like it wasn't as like story driven and eventful as like the others.
I don't think that Black Bear thinks that, but I don't. I feel like we did have a little like the only moments that was unneeded was probably him and Odo. Odo, whatever.
Odo.
It's OTTO. Oto. Ototo. O2. Well, it was really unnecessary, but it was nice to see it to make sure that to refer back to the fact that Subaru can't tell Oto about what's happening because he's a close friend and all that biz whiz. So, theory-wise, is there anything really big about this? I'm not gonna lie, there wasn't. It was more of a setup for the next episode.
I should use this like setup.
This was more of a setup episode.
Yeah, because ReZero has no filler episodes.
Correct.
They're just setups for big things.
And we kind of got like a lot of foreshadowing and setups. Like I said, we have a bit of an idea of a foreshadowing of Subaru meeting Satella later and saving her, which you can actually kind of see that a little bit more of him saving her in the opening, where there's a part where the shadow hands from Return by Death come and go grab Subaru, and instead you could see them, instead of being like a black shadow murkiness, they start to like purify with light, as if she was saved. So I can only assume that it's foreshadowing the fact that Subaru will be going through a trial to save Satella and all this other stuff with Garfield being on his side, and he's kind of like getting everyone on his side for the big event that's going to be happening, which will most likely be against Bowel Lady, the White Rabbits, and the trial. But we'll obviously have to see further on. This is hitting at episode 10, so I'm hoping they won't stop at 12. Yeah, I don't think they will. I don't think they will. It would be dumb and rushed. If they were to do that, it would be extremely rushed and it would ruin the entire thing. I would feel like it would ruin season 2 for ReZero. So I feel like they should go with how they did at season 1.
I think they're still going to go 24 episodes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 24 episodes. Do it, 24 episodes is how you did it with the first season, and it was amazing. Do it for the second season, and it'll blow expectations. It'll be amazing. So, other than that, I don't really got anything else. You got anything else?
No, not really. You pretty much, summed everything up. I'm going to talk about how... Don't make that face.
I always steal the thunder. Alrighty, so I guess we'll close it off. Alrighty, my fellow brother bears, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you subscribe if you haven't. Also, leave a comment down below on your theories on what you think is going to happen, if you agree with us, if you disagree, if Black Bear is dummy, just dummy, just look at him, dumb, or, if, I'm just...
dumb.
Buddha tit.
I was trying to say like a Buddha tit.
I was gonna try like Buddha-tastic or something,
no,
but I was like Buddha-tistic.
You're Buddha tit.
No.
Yeah, you're Buddha tit now.
No. That's not even really funny.
Yeah, you're Buddha
All right,
tit.
my fellow brother bears. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Here.
He ruined that because he did it so sad. You said it too soon.
I said it too soon. There's like a 3-second pause.
Yeah, because I had to do my 3-second pause. I'm your lovely host, the one and only Buddha Bear. And that's your co-host, Black Bear.
Yeah.
And thank you guys so much for tuning in with us here in the Anime Den. See, that's how you do it.